Hey guys, what's up? Juan here, and I'm back with another video. So this one is a bit different. I'm gonna do this a bit differently, mainly because it's a video in which I show you guys how I made Freakshow VII. If you guys don't know Freakshow VII, it is that mask right there. If you guys don't know this part of my workshop here, this is pretty much the area where all the personal masks are. So anything in this area right here is for me. This is for keeps, okay? There's nothing in here that's available to buy, okay? So these are pretty much all my my personal work for myself. So these aren't available to own for anyone. So anyways, this video will show you how I made Freakshow VII. Now this mask should be familiar to most of you, mainly because you see Freakshow VII in every single short film I've done so far. And the reason why he makes a cameo for each one is because it's pretty much branching out from what Freakshow VII stands for in my feature-length film, The Mentor, which was released last year in September 2013. Okay, so Freakshow VII is pretty much this mental creature or person. He pretty much uses delusions, you know, things like that to teach me something. And each and every short film that I've made so far has some sort of metaphoric lesson or symbolism in it, and usually Freakshow VII is there to teach me something using, you know, delusions and whatnot. Alright, so that's why you see him, that's why he makes a cameo. Whenever you see Freakshow VII on the video, that means something's he's there to teach me something. Okay, so hence the name The Mentor. You know, my feature-length film, which you can watch in my channel. Okay, if you guys haven't done so already, you guys will probably get a better explanation of what I'm talking about if you guys just watch The Mentor. All right, so yeah, that's what Freakshow VII is. Obviously, if you want more information on the Freakshow series or any of these masks that you see here, any of these personal masks, you guys can actually do that in the masks section of my website, as you can see right there. Okay, so anything that involves me and my work, you guys can all check that out in my website. That's actually one of the reasons why I made a website in the first place. If you guys want to get to know me, what I'm all about, it's all there. It's all on my website. Okay, so please check that out, and of course links for that will be in the description below. Alright, so yeah, that's that. So this video is actually something that was overdue. I've been wanting to make a video that shows you the making of Freakshow as well as The Mentor, my feature-length film. But the reason why I hesitate on doing that is because, I mean, come on, an hour and 30 minutes of Freakshow VII and you know, in The Mentor, it's like one of those videos that you watch and it's extremely open for interpretation. So I really do want to upload a video that tells you guys, alright, so this is what it's all about. So I kind of want you guys to interpret what you saw in The Mentor in your own way, in your own perspective. Okay, so that's why I didn't upload one. But then I still had the footage in which I was commentating on the making of Freakshow VII. So I haven't actually deleted that in my hard drive. So and a year later, almost a year later, I was like, you know what? Let me just upload this. Maybe someone will like this video. Maybe someone will like how I make, you know, my silicone masks, especially Freakshow VII. Freakshow VII, you know, all these, you know, being my signature masks. I think it will be an interesting video for people to watch if they see how I made Freakshow VII. All right, this is my signature mask, signature series. This is really special. All right, so I kind of want to dedicate this video just for Freakshow VII on how I made it. Okay, so that's why it took me a while. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. This will not have any, I will include some chapter skips in the description. So if you guys want to skip ahead on a particular area, you know, sculpting, airbrushing, the finished product, you guys can actually skip to that particular section. So the time chapter or time skips will be in the description below. Okay, so anyways, yeah, I don't know, I also don't know how long this video is, so keep in mind that all the shots that you're about to see, these were taken early 2013. All right, so this was more than a year ago. All right, so you're pretty much going to see the process of Freakshow VII and how this thing was born. All right, so thank you guys for watching this again, and enjoy. It is January 16th, 2013, 10 o'clock p.m. to be exact, And here is the rough sketch of Freakshow VII, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. So as you can see, it's quite similar to Freakshow VI with the Asian styled facial hair. But one huge difference, you guys are probably know it right now by just looking at this, is the fact that he's not really a clown no more, you know. And that always I want Freakshow VII to be like a huge change to my freak shows. I want Freakshow VII to be very memorable to me as an artist. So I want to make them different. So as you can see, the symbolic features are still there. You know, you got the old school, I don't want to say flippable, but as you can see, it's all stitched up and it's pretty much healing. And his right side of the face is healing as well, but it's still badly damaged, so it's gonna look real good once I sculpt this. And also, you don't see any makeup right here, so none of that triangle stuff, you know. But although I may do, you know, like a gentle smear of the red triangles to make it look like it's washed out, maybe, but I probably won't, you know, because I really like the idea. Like, I've always wondered myself, what if Freakshow was a human? You know, like what if he took out the traditional sphere clown nose? What would he look like? You know? And this is what he looks like. I think I designed him, so I should know this. But yeah, this is Freakshow VII. He's more human. It's gonna be using that new mold making method that I figured out finally last year. So this will fit me perfectly. And it's gonna have a good consistency, like good thickness of a silicone cast, and it's gonna be smooth on the inside, so that's a bare friction, so I can move my face and neck fairly well. Yeah, that's Freakshow VII. I actually finished this drawing like 4 weeks ago, I believe, in the Philippines. Oh, I'm sorry, not in the Philippines, but in an airport in China, going to the Philippines. So technically I finished this around December 17th. So I finished this drawing December 17th, and I cannot wait to sculpt this, ladies and gentlemen. Alright guys, so here is the basic muscle mass and anatomical form. This is looking really amazing for me, because the past freak shows, usually the sculptures didn't look like this. And if you think about it, the past freak show, the one that I actually sculpted, so I believe it's not Freakshow VI, it's Freakshow V, and that was back in 2010. So if you think about it, it's been 3 years since I haven't, you know, truly made a new freak show, because since Freakshow VI was basically an alternate, like a permanent alternate of Freakshow V. So Freakshow VII is totally new, and it's looking really badass. Look at this. So he's more human than ever. That's the idea behind it. I figured he's not gonna have a clown nose as well as makeup, because guess what? I can just apply the clown nose and real makeup later on, you know, as external pieces. So the actual mask will just be Freakshow in his human form. So if I want him to be a clown again, simple, just add the clown nose and the makeup with the traditional upside down triangles, and there you go. But the whole basis of this is Freakshow being human, and that's the beautiful part about it. But anyways, yeah, everything's here. Anatomical structures here. I got carried away with the details. I'm not even supposed to start on the details yet, but you know, I just wanna. It's been a while, you know. It's been 3 years since I've sculpted a freak show, so I'm getting excited right here. All my days of staring at anatomy books and charts and diagrams really paid off, because I really captured the human look for this one. So you got the lump right there where the ears are supposed to be. It's just a matter of carving it out now. And you got the deformed eye right there. Of course this will be more deformed in the detail stage, but I did what I could just to rough out how far I want the deformed eyelid to be. So as you can see, it's like it covers like right there. Here's the normal eye. I just can't believe, you know, it's this good for a freak show. Because if you compare this right now, even though it's not done yet, to the freak show up there in my shelf where all the freak shows are displaying, you would notice that Freakshow VI does not really stand a chance against this. I really upped my game when it comes to anatomy, and that's something really important for every artist. You gotta know, and you gotta sculpt, draw, paint what's real before you start doing your own stuff. Because when you know what's real, you can pretty much deform it in your own way. You know? You gotta draw life first. Like, you have to know what real life first. You have to learn how to replicate that. Because once you have that with you, you can pretty much make whatever you want, you know? Because once you have anatomy with you, you know the basics and principles of a human face. And you can pretty much change it however you like if you master it. But anyways, yeah, here's Freakshow VI, the base sculpture, roughing out the anatomical mass and the muscular form. And that'll be it for this segment, and I can't wait for this to be finished. So here it is, the finished clay sculpture of Freakshow VII. Oh my god, this is probably the best sculpture I've ever made up to date, and it's January 30th 2013, so that's the date in which I finished him, and this is looking good. So let me break it down for you of why this is good. So first off, as seen on the crappy drawing right there, that's the rough sketch, obviously. Freakshow is obviously more human, no doubt, and the reason why he's more human is right off the bat you would notice he has no clown nose, and like I said, that will actually be an external piece, so it would actually be an actual clown nose, you know, so I can remove it. And same thing with the makeup, and since silicone is a stretchy material, I'm pretty sure makeup will stick to that as well, as though if it was real skin. So all the stuff that makes him a clown will be external, and it will be optional, you know. But yeah, here he is, looking real good. The reason why this is the best freak show and probably the best sculpture that I've made so far up to date is because, I don't know, I mean, take a look at him compared to, and it's a bit dark, alright, never mind. Just compare him to my past freak shows. You will notice that the past freak shows, they lack anatomy, realism, and volume. It's really hard to sculpt volume in a mask because, I don't know, you just gotta know how the human body works and looks, how it stretches, how it moves, and all that good stuff. Because once you figure it all out, it will look amazing, you know. And so a huge example of what I mean by volume is the cheekbones. You see how, you know, they fit where they need to be, you know. How with the nose, you know, it's not too big, it's not too small, it's perfect, right? You even got the old man flesh right there, you know, it's hanging down a bit as it goes up, because that's how it is in real life. You tend the skin on right where your neck is, and the throat, it tends to sag a bit, and it's obeying the laws of gravity. You know, that's what I mean by volume, ladies and gentlemen. That's really hard to accomplish when it comes to sculpting. You know, it's taken me years to do this. I've been trying to practice, and my number one goal is when designing masks or art in general is achieving realism. That's always been my thing, you know. I never tried sculpting anything that's cartoonish, except for, you know, my early days of mask making. Everything seemed so, you know, amateurish and cartoonish, because I didn't know anything about the human body at that time. But, you know, now I'm starting to get the feel of the human body, and this proves it, you know. And let's see, and oh yeah, so this is what I mean by anatomy. Look at the lips. Don't look at the shape of the lips, but look at that simple, let's see if it focuses. Nope. Let's look at that simple line right there, right where the lips are. If I didn't have that there, would it look awesome? Like, would it look the same? It wouldn't, right? Something as simple as that line right there can define it as a very fictional mask or a very realistic mask. So small details such as that can really define realism, you know? You got the neck muscles going up, and I also learned a thing or two about the back. You see how it's not just you see how it's not just flat. You know, it actually has volume. Like I said, you see there's the if this were full body, the shoulder blade would be right here, you know. So the neck muscles go all the way up to here. You see the ears are actually ears now. Oh my god, they're not just lumps of clay like I always did at the back then. So that's a huge improvement for me. So the eyes are much more real. Eyes are actually pretty hard to do, believe it or not. So it's on the eyes, because when you guys are looking at a mask or talking to a person in real life, guess where you're looking at? The eyes, right? So yeah, so there's a lot of elements in the sculpture that makes it good. So, you know, there's blemishes right there, because when before the side was finished, I noticed that it was too perfect, and you know, the human body isn't really perfect. You know, it's not that perfect. So you gotta add some sort of imperfection wherever, no matter what it is. Even if it's a perfect human face, you have to have imperfections. You know, and I added that. So you got the eye bags right here. You got the crow's feet. And like I said, you got the dents right here, which is, you know, the blemishes or whatever they're called. Chin is not even perfect. Look at that. So everything's not perfect, and that's what makes it awesome. And let's take a look, a closer look. There's the wrinkles, and I actually learned a lot about wrinkles. You know, it makes sense. There would be wrinkles here because when you move your eyebrows, the skin on top of your forehead moves, and over time that would actually cause you to have wrinkles. Same thing with the eyes, this part, and same thing along here, especially where your jaw is. That's where there's a lot of wrinkles actually, because if you think about it, it's like the forehead. You move your jaw a lot, and that stretches the skin, and over time, when you get old, that would actually start to wear down, and that's where the wrinkles start to form. There's also wrinkles on the neck. There's subtle details, but they make a huge difference on this sculpture. It's like a scarred heart in a way, made it really subtle, and that's actually referencing Freakshow 4, or is it 3? I can't remember. And same thing in the back. Here's the missing puzzle piece right here. That's from Freakshow 4. I know that because I remember sculpting in the Philippines. Here's the spine. Never done anything like this before, but it was worth a try, and it looks good. I like it. And there's my signature, if you guys can see. And let's take out the ruin. Look at the ruin side, and that's just awesome. You know, they all go in a distinct flow, and that's what makes sculpting masks awesome for me. Sculpting details is really hard because you really have to have a flow, especially if you guys are sculpting organic details such as this. They have to have a flow. They can't be all just straight lines, you know. So the ear is not even there no more. It's like melted. This is just too awesome. And here is the scalp, in which just letting you guys know, this mask will not feature a removable scalp. And that emphasizes more on Freakshow's humanistic side. He's human, so everything's all healed up, obviously. And I figured it's always easy to add a brain, you know, for whatever alternate I will come up with in the future. I can always add a brain, because it's easy to do that, you know. Sculpt a brain, mold it, cast it, and put it under here. Of course, you're going to cut this out. And there's your traditional Freakshow. And same thing with the teeth. Usually I have like exposed teeth right here, compared from the past Freakshows, and this one it's just a mouth. So this is a really Freakshow like you've never seen them, and this is just too awesome. And there you go. Freakshow VII's paint job has started. So here it is. This is not the rough cast anymore. It's currently undergoing the paint stage, the airbrushing stage. This is one of my favorite things about mask making, is adding color to it. So here it is. This is the I believe I placed only three skin tone layers on this. Now, it may not look like it, but on some areas you see that there's like a very, very pale gray, while in some areas it's a very pale skin tone. You know, it's pretty much 3 colors on here. It may not look like it, but it is, and it will actually play a really important role afterwards when you're laying more colors on top. So here it is. So I'm showing you guys this right now because in a way it does look like the rough cast all trimmed, but it's actually not. So here's my way of making it up. But here it is. It looks really good right now. It has a good start. This is 3 layers of airbrush paint, silicone, and this is looking badass. I don't know about you guys. So the next layer, I'm gonna start doing more skin tone, believe it or not, and usually that layer is the layer in which I start adding red to define the horrible part of this person's face. You know, add some dark tones right where the lips are, nose, eyes, right here. So in the the areas in which there's deep crevices, I'm gonna start doing that as well. So in a way, I'm actually starting doing the details now. So yep. Alright guys, after many weeks of studying skin tones, color theory, what else, some airbrushing techniques from professionals, YouTube, you know, all that stuff, I have finally finished Freakshow VII. I think the biggest challenge for me was the airbrushing part. And what's cool about airbrushing Freakshow VII was that I learned a couple of new tricks on airbrushing, and one of those tricks is actually using the air regulator, which is right there. So I've been practicing with the regulator and it works like a charm. I have full control of my detailing. I can spatter now. I can pretty much do whatever it takes to make a silicone mask look good, because without the regulator, guess how much PSI I was using all this time when airbrushing silicone masks? 40 PSI. That's a lot of PSI for doing details. In fact, you can't even do details when you're on a very high PSI. It has to be pretty low. So I have a lot of flexibility now when airbrushing silicone masks, and it feels really good that I have full control of what I do now. So here's an example of that control. Now another thing I learned about airbrushing, it's not really about airbrushing, it's about mixing silicone. One thing I learned was that when you're doing skin tones and stuff like that, it's important to saturate your paints a bit. And what I mean by saturate is pretty much add more toluene into it to make the water very runny and very watery. And what that will do is that it's not going to use the pigments as much when doing skin tones, so you're really going to get that really subtle look when it comes to skin tones. So that's a cool technique that I learned. And another technique that I learned, it's not a technique, but it's like a new material that I found on Smooth On. There's this powder, I forgot what it's actually called, but I call it matte powder. If you guys notice, when it comes to silicone, when you guys are airbrushing silicone masks, silicone leaves off a very glossy touch to it, and that's pretty much the way silicone is. What this powder does is, if you mix it with your silicone pigment and Psycho Paint, what it does is that it makes it so that it's a matte. If you guys don't know what matte is, it's pretty much not glossy. It's the opposite of glossy. Alright? And what's cool about that is I started doing that with this mask right here, and the only reason why it looks glossy, semi-glossy to be exact, is because I used Psycho Paint with no pigment on it and airbrushed the whole thing in a very light way, and I got that very sweaty look to it. So as you can see, it's not too glossy. I didn't want the whole mask to look very matte and flat, because it doesn't really have a sense of tense, or like a sense of you know, like anxiety within the mask. Because if you look at a mask, especially if it's like a human mask, you would expect it to have some sort of gloss in it, just a tiny bit of gloss. So, you know, because gloss, what it can do is it can make your mask look a bit sweaty and look more real, and that's what I did with Freakshow here. So I obviously added some extra gloss right where the eyes are, just a tiny bit, a lot where the lips are, where the heart scar is, you know, and the puzzle piece in the back. See how it's pretty glossy? But overall, the mask itself, it's semi-glossy. I didn't airbrush too much stuff on it. And look at the ears, see that? Very glossy. And of course, this side, really glossy. And that's pretty much how I achieved that sweating look to it. So I didn't put that much, so I didn't pretty much, but yeah, that's pretty much how I achieved that. So that's pretty much 3 things I learned when it comes to airbrushing Freakshow VII. And the best part about those 3 techniques that I just told you guys is that I'm gonna apply it on future silicone masks. So what can you guys expect from me from future silicone masks? Better detailing, better, you know, better quality when it comes to realism. It's really ridiculous what you can do with airbrushing. And this is the beauty of silicone masks, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot achieve this look on latex. Definitely not. Silicone is the way to go when it comes to full head masks and realism. Alright, now let's talk about the actual process I did for this. Now, I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. You can't really see the other colors because of the camera itself, and that's one of the beautiful parts about the human eye. The human eye sees more color than the best camera in the world, believe it or not. So you guys are probably looking at this and it's pretty pinkish, right? Well, it's not pinkish in real life. It's pretty pale. You can see a lot of green veins going around. See, here's one of them. You can't really see most of them because of the camera, like I said. But anyways, I honestly I can't stress enough how much different colors I used. I learned that the more colors they use, the more realistic your mask will be, and that's the truth, you know. Like I said, if you look at your hand, your hand alone contains probably more than 10 colors, or 20, to be honest. And most of those colors are probably colors that you never thought would be on your human flesh, when it actually is. So as you can see right there, see how that's light blue? Do you guys really think you would see light blue on a mask, especially on a human? No, right? Well, wrong. I used light blue to pretty much whiten up some spots, because before, when I was airbrushing this, everything was pretty much pink, you know, and that's really disgusting to me. Like, I don't like that, just pink. So what I used is I pretty much paled up the skin using light blue, and that's how I did it, ladies and gentlemen. So I really don't know what else to say. It's just, this mask contains so many layers of paint and color. I can't stress enough how awesome that is and how realistic it is. And I achieved the look of realism for Freakshow VII. I did not add any blood to it like I did with the previous freak shows. I figured Freakshow VII should look more human and healed up, unlike the rest. And I believe I achieved that look right here. Check it out. So this is the example of controlling your air pressure using the air regulator, as you can see right there. You can do stuff like this. I could not do stuff like that before, believe it or not. Even though it may look like it, I could not do this before. Now that I have an air regulator, I can do all this amazing detail right here. Check that out. Also, what I did with the air regulator is that I turned it to a very low pressure, and I started airbrushing using dark green, I think, and that's how you can see the veins right there. The very, very, very subtle veins right there. It actually goes everywhere. You can't really see it because of the camera, but it's there. Believe me, it's there. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, Freakshow VII, the paint job. This is the best mask I've done so far. I'll be honest with you. Freakshow, best sculpture, best form, best anatomy, best airbrushing or paint job, you know, best everything. This is really amazing. And I forgot to tell you guys, I want to tell you guys right now before I forget, this is the finished product of Freakshow VII, and you guys are probably saying, wait, why is it finished? It's not really, where's the hair? Well, let me tell you guys this. There's something beautiful about Freakshow VII. He doesn't need hair, you know? Imagine adding hair right now to him. It looks really weird because it kind of destroys the whole bald and plain evil look to it, you know? If you guys, this is a bad example, but do you guys know Voldemort, the villain in the Harry Potter series, in the books and in the movies? Imagine him having like an evil beard going down. He looks more evil, right? Yeah, but the beard kind of destroys a different aesthetic, you know? Like having hair to something evil, it doesn't really make it evil anymore. It just makes it look badass, and that's not the point, you know? Evil and badass are two different things in my opinion, so it's kind of hard to explain. I really can't explain it. I just don't want to add hair to Freakshow. Really, I don't want to. Even partial hair on the damaged side, I don't want to. It kind of destroys it. So I'm keeping Freakshow VII bald, you know? It looks really beautiful like this. Maybe in alternates I'll have hair, definitely, but on the original Freakshow VII, no. I will not add hair to this. Imagine having hair like I did on Freakshow VI, you know, the wisdom stash, as I call it, the Asian. It's gonna ruin it. In my opinion, it's gonna ruin it, and I like it just like this. So yeah, that's pretty much my rave on adding hair on Freakshow. So it's not gonna have hair, and that'll be it for this segment. Here is what he looks like with his black veil on, and as you can see, he's really creepy. Like it really adds on to his character. Notice how the black veil itself, you can see through a bit, and that's actually part of the design, because remember, I got this black veil in my country, the Philippines, back in December 2012. It was a Christmas present for me from my uncle, because I told him that I needed one, and he knows somebody who can make a black veil for me, custom made. So this is what he did. So I'm really thankful for that, and it's really cool because this is not something you get anywhere else. This is, like I said, this is custom made. Check that out. So most of the time in the mentor, you will see Freakshow VII wearing this. Of course, there is a couple of scenes where you see Freakshow VI, which was the past Freakshow. He's not going to be wearing the black veil yet, because that's only for Freakshow VII. Alright? So, and there's also going to be a scene where he transforms from that to this. So you're slowly going to see Freakshow VII throughout the short film itself, which is pretty cool, right? So yeah, this is what he looks like. It's just really creepy. Look how pale he looks compared to Freakshow VI. So my paint job really did. This is probably the best paint job, like I said, for a silicone mask. This is by far the best mask I've ever made, pretty much. Look how evil that looks. Even though Freakshow VII is not supposed to be evil, you know, he's neither a demon or an angel. He's just, you know, something that lives in my mind. So this is a really interesting take on Freakshow VII. And there's actually before you actually see Freakshow VII's face, you would see him on the mentor with it like this. Like he's gonna have the black veil wrapped around his mouth and his forehead, like this, and that's pretty much to conceal his final identity. So it's gonna be like that, and imagine him with the contacts on. So you're gonna see Freakshow VII like this for a while, and there's gonna be one scene where he finally reveals what he looks like. Alright, and that's pretty much how it works. There's not gonna be that much scenes where you see Freakshow VII in full like that. I'm not sure, I'm still thinking about it, but damn, he looks really awesome. It's just, you know, I don't know, I'll think about it. And do you guys see what I mean now about hair? Imagine him with hair, similar to how Freakshow VII is. It would not look good, really. You can't really see the hair anyways because of the black veil. So him, Freakshow VII being bald, it adds a lot to his sinister personality, or sinister look. And let's take a look at him right here. Check that out. See, being bald can really add on to the whole sinister look to something, and I'm serious. Alright guys, it's me again. So hope you all enjoyed that. That was for those of you who have made it through the end of this video without skipping. Well, thank you for watching. I really enjoy making videos like this where I show you guys how I do things, and I know that at least one person out there will at least learn something. Hopefully you guys learn something from this video, as well as any other video I do, of course, here on YouTube. But yeah, that'll be it at the end of this video. Again, I hope you all enjoyed that. Please check out my other videos on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you are new to my videos, and of course, so please follow me on Twitter if you guys want any 24/7 updates on me doing my art. That'll be twitter.com/evilsaw13, so please follow me. Alright, and of course, as always, please check out my website, everything you want to know about me as an artist, as well as the current projects I'm working on, as well as the past projects that I've done. This includes you know, videos, masks, digital work. It's all on my site for you guys to watch and see. Okay, so that'll be www.juanfreakshowcaparas.com. Please check out my site, and that'll be it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it yet again, and I'll see you guys on the next one.